If you want more conventional wisdom on management, this podcast isn't for you. Throw away your so-called accountability. Throw away those 80s cliches. This is the On Purpose Management Podcast.
So welcome. This is the On Purpose Management Podcast. I'm Brian McDonald. I'm here with author Michael Hahn. And today we're going to be talking about some hero habits that are in his book. A lot of things you can apply in the management of people and the management of business. And Michael and I have known each other for a very long time. He's been a great friend, a great contact, a great business person, and I'm grateful for you on, Michael. So I appreciate it. Can you give the listeners a little background about who you are and what you're all about?
Sure, thanks, Brian. And for everybody else out there, I'm Michael Hahn, author, speaker. People call me mindset motivation coach. I just really feel like my passion and my purpose in life is to create a world of thank God it's Monday. Like, so that we can go into work and we know our strengths and we feel like we're making a difference every single day. And, you know, that's why I created the book. That's why I do my coaching. That's why I get out there and on the speaking circuit. And it's all just a life's blessing, man. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So, Mike, how did you get into this? Tell me about, how did this all come about? You didn't wake up born this way, huh? Did you?
I don't know. My mom says I've always been like this, high strung, and she reminds me all the time. She's like, Michael, you know, I told you that you couldn't do everything. You'd have to pick and choose. And I think I spent my whole life trying to prove her wrong.
That's good.
I think like this year, 2017 was my year of saying, I have a distinction. Is it an opportunity or is it a possibility? Because I played too much in the possibility realm, and I feel like I wasn't like a laser on the things that were going to drive the business forward and were going to create an impact. So 2017 was the year of possibility or opportunity. So I haven't figured out 2018 yet, but...
Well, we got no need to, right? Yeah. I think you can probably take one of your hero habits and apply that the design a winnable game and just
design a winnable game. Yeah. That's why I'm taking my pause here before the Christmas holiday. But
phenomenal, man. Well, again, I'm grateful. Happy to have you on here, and let's talk about some of those hero habits that you have in your book. What do you think are some of the most important ones, or some good ones to talk about today?
Yeah. So, Brian, you mind if I go back just a little bit?
Oh yeah.
All right. So I'm one of these guys who, whenever I hear something, I write it down, right? Make a note in my phone or write it on a Post-it note. And I had all these Post-it notes and all these notes in my phone about 3 years ago, and I said, there's something there, I just don't know what it is. And it felt like there was a part of my brain that was like getting eaten up every single day, trying to figure out like, what does all this mean? So I'd have little notes like little pink spoon or the tallest pygmy or
what?
Hero habits.
Oh yeah.
Just random stuff I'd hear in conversations or drinking through a fire hose, and I thought, gosh, what does all this mean? So I was trying to talk to my wife, and she shoved me down in the basement. She's like, get out of here. Go take some time and figure it out. So I took my production studio in the basement, and I took all of these notes I had in my phone, and I gave each one a Post-it note.
Okay.
I spread them out across my floor, and I started to put them together and theme them together, like which one goes with which one. And after about 2 weeks of going down there a little bit and playing around and sorting them out, I realized, oh my gosh, it's a series of books. And Hero Habits is one of those books.
Oh, really?
And so if you look at the subtitles and the chapter titles, you'll see a lot of those Post-it notes made it to either chapter heading or subheading.
Okay.
Or they actually made all of the individual hero habits in the title, from surviving to thriving, or from hero habits or villainous vices. And so ultimately, I think we all have an idea. Everybody listening right now has an idea. And it's going to be, how bad do you want it? That's my coaching question. How bad do you want it? Or do you want it bad enough to take notes in your phone, to be thinking about it all the time, to write those Post-it notes, to figure it out, and then to put in that massive action to get there? Like, it's a blessing or a curse, Brian.
Yeah, no. and the fact that this is more than one book blows my mind, because there was so much in the book that I was thinking parts of it. I was like, oh, okay, that was a Post-it note. That was a Post-it note. Yeah, and when you read the book, people will understand what I'm talking about. So the fact that there's more there, I can't wait, because the book was really engaging. It was very relatable, scary relatable. So since we're talking about management and those hero habits, and knowing that those hero habits apply, what are the ones that apply to management of companies, management of people, culture, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, so I specialize in high performers or high potentials. And what I found out through coaching them and having conversations is that a lot of times we would have a goal in mind, but it may not be a big enough goal. So let's say it's a couple year goal. People would achieve that, and then eventually they'd try to consume that and try to like maintain it, right? But then they wouldn't aim for that next thing, whether they got comfortable or they just got caught up in that goal. And what I realized is we start to accept an unwinnable game at that point.
Okay.
We knew what we wanted. We went for it. Maybe it was, going to school, getting out, getting a great job, starting your business, getting to that first goal. Maybe it was going to grad school, having kids, getting a family, and all that stuff gets in the way of then looking down the horizon and saying, what's next for me? So we start to drift from designing a winnable game to accepting an unwinnable game. And that's why hero habit number 1 is design a winnable game. Because a lot of times we all have individual strengths. We have passions. We have reasons for what we do. But when we try to do something that we're not built to do, we're accepting an unwinnable game. To put in more time that's required. Somebody else could, somebody can chop up this podcast and send it out much faster than you and I could.
Oh, yeah. They could actually send it out. I can't.
We'd struggle in the technology. So to leverage the diverse skills of other people, that's designing a winnable game. Finding experts who are in the field, right? Somebody who knows how to invest money, right? Somebody who knows how to be your legal team. You're going to go create that hero team. If you don't do that, forget it. You're going to be accepting an unwinnable game, and we're all fall short of time. But when we leverage our resources, we've technically designed a winnable game.
Right. So why is it, based on your coaching experience, why are people accepting playing unwinnable games? Did you see a pattern, a theme, or something like that?
Yeah, we're busy, man. Everybody's busy. And it's not for ill intent, right? Hero habit number 2 is you need to assume positive intent. And everybody has really good intent. 99.8% of the people out there are trying to be heroes.
Okay.
There's the 0.2% that just want to be a villain and just...
Yeah, right.
But people have really good intent. And some of the statistics that I talk about in my presentations are 71% of us feel overwhelmed with the amount of information that we take in every day. We digest 74 gigabytes of information every single day.
Good Lord.
On average, 124 emails. Some of those are spam. We have to discern what we're going to reply to, how we're going to reply, who's it going to, how are we going to change our words and language to do that. You think about there's 22 billion emails that go out every day. 22 billion texts. 25 billion emails that go out.
Oh, man.
Right? We're just overloaded. And we get to this point every single day where we're like in burnout. We can't even think about what we're going to eat for lunch.
Right, yeah. It's hard sometimes, right?
Did I just drive home?
Yeah, right, yeah. That's crazy. Whoa, I just got my car. How'd I get here, right?
And so people have really good intent. We're just bombarded from so many different ways. And, I think of things as like spectrums. If we are so busy, how do we make sure to flex that muscle of focus? There's chaos and there's focus. I think that focus is the antidote to distraction. And there's so many distractions in life that we have to find our focus. And people lose that, right? Mihai Csikszentmihalyi wrote a book called Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience.
What was his name again? Or him?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
It's Mihai Csikszentmihalyi.
Okay.
He has this concept called flow. Don't read the book. Don't do the audible on it.
Okay.
The concept here is saying that there's a certain amount of challenge that we have in life, and there's a certain amount of skill set or support.
Okay.
And if you have a ton of challenge and you don't have much skill in it, you're probably going to feel overwhelmed and frustrated.
Right. Yeah, that's obvious.
And stressed out. But if you've been doing something for too long, let's say you've been doing your job for 10 years and it hasn't changed at all, you got a ton of skill and very little challenge. So how do you think you feel?
Oh, useless.
Yeah.
Maybe, or like, I go there and like, I can't really, this isn't fulfilling. I can't do much, right?
Bored,
frustrated, yeah.
So he says that there's a channel right down the middle. It's the perfect amount of challenge that's just beyond your current level of skill set or support. So you want to get in this flow zone. I call it being in the zone.
Okay.
And so we're trying to figure out, like, how do we get people to either get the support they need to reduce the challenge so they're in their sweet spot every day, or how do we have them increase their skill set or support or reduce their challenge so they're in that zone? So to give you, for instance, when you're in the zone, remember Michael Jordan, right?
Oh, come on, man. Yeah, come on.
He was out there. He was unconscious, right?
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
sick,
He was
55
sick.
pounds.
Remember that game? He was literally sick.
He scored like double nickel on the Knicks.
Yeah.
He was totally sick. But I always think in the zone, like there's times during the day where I can be totally focused. I forget that I'm hungry. I forget that I have to go to the bathroom. I forget that I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm totally in it. It's fulfilling. The challenge is just beyond my skill set. I lose track of time, and it's intrinsically rewarding. Like, that's where we need to be the majority of our day, but distraction takes us out of that.
Yeah.
We think we can multitask. We can't multitask. We single task, and there's this opportunity cost of switching. But, the majority of the people that I work with have gotten stagnated at a certain level, probably because they've, taken on more challenges than they're prepared for.
Right.
They have unexpected challenges, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They come from everywhere. You never know. Yeah. Oh.
Sick kids.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
And so what happens is, we have this hero side and we have this villain side. And how do we enable the hero side so that we can show up and be in the zone every day? And how do we disable the villain? Or how do we start to become aware of what our triggers are? When we're hungry, angry, tired, stressed out, know that our villain is already triggered, ready to wire up and give us that voice in our ear.
Yeah.
Tell us to push somebody away. Or
Yeah, right.
Them.
You hear it. Everybody hears it, right?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of people say, Michael, I just love having a third-party, unbiased person who's there that I can bounce these ideas off of. And we've all been there.
Yeah.
Sometimes too much with our spouse or
Yeah.
best friend, but we all need it.
Yeah. The wrong advice from the wrong person, right? So, based on your experience, or how can people listen to this that are in management apply these two things to kind of their business to improve it, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're a manager in a business? How do you actually take this from concept to action?
Yeah. So let's get through the third hero habit, right?
Go for it.
The first two hero habits are design a winnable game, right? So as an individual, I have to know what my strengths are. I have to know what I'm passionate about. I have to know my why.
Okay.
So I can get into the right field. I can go to where the energy is.
Got it.
Two is, as I start to tweak my game to be in the zone, I have to realize that I'm not always going to get it right.
Okay.
Things are going to happen. I'm not going to do the right things. I'm going to jump the gun a little bit from the book.
That's a healthy mindset.
Healthy mindset. And so what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take that feedback from other people. I'm going to have those mentors and those relationships that I'm willing to say, okay, yep, I didn't intend to do that.
Yeah.
That's actually what I did, and that's what I said.
Uh-huh.
How do I fix this thing?
Yep. So be open to honest, constructive feedback, and realize that sometimes you're the problem or the challenge, right?
Sometimes you're the villain.
Yeah, sometimes you're the villain. Yeah, all right.
And so we have these two sides, and so we got to make sure that we enable the hero and we disable the villain. But sometimes we push it, we overuse our strengths when we become the villain. So the last thing, the hero habit number 3, is we need to choose happiness. So I'm looking you dead in the eyes right now, man. You
Yep.
got 10 things on your to-do list to start the day. You got every intention and hammering the first 5 out, and then chaos strikes, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
At the end of the day, you got a half a thing done, and you got, 5, 6 more down at the
Yeah, right. Yeah. The list got longer and you didn't do much.
Right. And it could be great opportunities that are filling out those extra to-dos. And at the end of the day, even though the goalposts keep moving down the field before we feel like we're moving down there, we got to stop and we got to look back and we have to say, man, you know what? Great opportunities. I'm choosing happiness instead of defaulting to misery. Because it's too easy to say, you know what? It was a crappy day. I didn't get these 10 things done. I actually only got a half one done. It's his fault and it's her fault. It's everybody's fault. But the difference between somebody who's a hero and somebody who's a villain is it's that positivity and that optimism and the ability to celebrate even when difficulties happen.
Okay.
So I'll give you, for instance, a lot of folks that I feel are true heroes. Well, during the presentation, my presentations, I stop people and I say, hey, look, here's my Uncle Carl, right?
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
hero.
Yep.
And this is the story behind it. And we all have experiences that have created our beliefs about life.
Got it. Right.
And those beliefs, they impact our actions, and those actions that we do every day determine our results or our daily reality. So I'll stop and I'll say, who's your hero? And describe them in 3 words. So Brian, if you think back to childhood and who really invested in you growing up to be who you are today, does somebody pop into mind and you say, gosh, that person's really my hero?
Yeah. I mean, there's multiple, which I'm grateful for. But one of them, which maybe how do I describe I didn't think the person was going to be a hero, was a teacher in high school who did a lot to help me. I believe it was like 10th grade science or something like that, where he would help me, he would encourage me, and he would spend time with me after school to push me along because he saw that I was struggling. And maybe to talk in your context, he helped me design a winnable game in the class so I could take weaknesses and turn them into strengths or focus more on my strengths.
Yeah.
It was great. I don't even remember the guy's name, to be honest, but I remember the moments, right?
Beautiful. And so just to use a couple words to describe him. Like, what are some characteristics that you would describe?
Positive. He paid it forward, right? He understood that where I was at and had belief in me that I could go from where I was at to where I wanted to go, even when I didn't believe in myself.
Beautiful. So that reminds me, you jumped to hero habit number 6, which is great. I don't even think we have time to get
No.
Pay it forward is definitely one. I think about the 2015 Toastmaster champion, and when he was giving his Toastmaster International Champion speech, he talked about, I see something in you that you don't even see yet. And when you said that about your teacher, I felt like that's the message he gave you, Brian.
Yeah.
I see something in you that you don't even see yet.
Absolutely.
And that's that, wow, somebody believes in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I can do more and be more than I ever thought possible. And that's why I'm here, right? To expand human potential. And I feel like we've all had those experiences. And now it's like, how do we pay it forward?
Right.
How do we give that back? Because he might not even remember that conversation. You don't remember his name right now. But
Right.
I'll tell you what, you're never going to forget how he made you feel. Never.
Exactly. Never.
And how do we pass that forward? I know you're a pay it forward guy, right? I know that you
Yeah.
live by
Oh,
it.
yeah. Live by it.
But there's the moments of how do we, one, appreciate people or choose happiness and appreciate those people for moments in our life? And then how do we then give that to other people? And a lot of times we can get stuck in our own little world, and our villain can tell us, I don't have time for this and I don't have time for that. But heroes and hero teams and hero organizations stop. They celebrate. They look for what's working, and they leverage that to then start to work on what's not working.
Right.
But villain organizations will just press you and squeeze you and try to squeeze everything out of you, and they won't think about sustainability. They won't think about helping people to thrive. They'll just think about, how do we survive? How do we squeeze the juice out? And that's not sustainable. No,
not at all, right? Trying to survive is a very tough path to be on, right? There isn't much anything at all empowering about it. And now when you're racking my brain about this teacher, and when I think back on it, and I think about his management of me as a student, and I can apply this to any workspace, is that I actually, when I think about these moments and he started mentoring me and helping me, I actually respected him more. The relationship changed, and I actually gave more in his class than I did in others. And when I look back on my professional career, anybody who was a manager of me or reported to me that acted like him, I actually thrived in that business, and it was easier for me to exist in that business, and I always gave more in that business. It was amazing.
Beautiful. And I'm going to go back to something that I just glossed over, but there's a model called beliefs, behaviors, and results.
Okay.
So let's say, hey, it's the end of the year right now, but when you're listening to this podcast, you're going to be past this. But
yeah.
But we have results. We say, hey, look, I'm 191 pounds right now.
Okay.
I want to be back to my fighting weight. I want to be 177 pounds.
Okay.
Right? So that's current result and then new result.
Right.
So then I say, well, what am I going to do? Well, I got to, eat less snacks at night, or I got to do more working out. The current results are I'm making excuses and not getting to the gym.
Yeah, right.
The new results are I have to make it a priority and I have to make time for it. This is what I'm going to do. And a lot of times we say, let's just swap out the old behaviors and put in the new behaviors, and then we're going to get the new results. But 95% of people quit the gym in February, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Right.
So what's behind there's actually beliefs that we don't go back and change. And so if we don't create new beliefs, we fall back to old beliefs, which gives us old behaviors, which give us old results.
Right.
But what I found out is there's experiences that are even before those beliefs. Experiences in our life create beliefs in us.
Oh, yeah, got it.
That
Yeah, yeah.
had an experience with you that had you change your beliefs from I suck at this, or I'm not good, or I'll never learn, to change your belief to saying, wow, there's something in me that he sees. Maybe I could be. And you start with possibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, and then we move to certainty, like I am. And then from there you claim it and you move forward. And you're telling me that, Michael, when I have a similar experience to that, or I feel that same sort of environment going on, I'm able to thrive in those type of environments versus people who try to default me to an unwinnable game.
Yep. So, and it literally happened that way because it literally, when he started showing me, I forget, it was biology, science, something like that. When he started showing me things and believed in me, I felt, hey, maybe this is possible. And then when I started having those experiences of actually winning and understanding, whatever it was about science, then I actually believe, oh my God, I can do this, right? And then my whole perspective changed. It was amazing.
Beautiful.
It was great. So,
and that's why it's so important to have mentors. I've been pounded for the past 2 weeks from my mentors, people I've met over the past couple of years, and I take mentors for certain areas of their life.
Yeah.
There's nobody I really want to model everything off of, right? Even Tony Robbins,
Richard
Branson, right? And not everything, just components. So I met with 3 of my mentors over the past 2 weeks, and they basically hammered me. And they're like, "What's the next thing you're doing, Michael?" And I said, "The next thing, I just
I know, right? Tomorrow, yeah, right, exactly. Did you see my book, right?"
And I'm like, you know what? I started to accept an unwinnable game and started to, let my villain roll and give excuses and rational lies.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. And I said, you know what? You're right. So they challenged me to say, what's going on in business going forward? What's a continuous challenge that business owners are going to be dealing with that you can then influence and be a thought leader in? And I said, oh man, I didn't know this was going to be an intervention.
Yeah, right.
And then I went back and I started racking my brain, and several people have called me up, from podcasts like this or from coaching conversations or speaking engagements. They said, Michael, you know what? You said something. And one of the big things I think is the most challenge right now for millennials, and let's just stereotype.
Yeah, that's okay.
Is mentoring. Millennials need to be mentoring. We all do.
Right.
But they resist the traditional hierarchy approach to mentoring. So now we're looking and saying, book number 3, if this book was about how to bring out the hero in you,
yeah,
as a rip off my shirt, the next book needs to be how do you bring out the hero in your team?
Yeah, I got it.
So as mentoring, we can never do it right all the time by ourselves. We have to have that external validation, that third party look at us, and mentors have that experience and that lens of life that they can cut through the bull and really get in there. But millennials kind of resist that because it's more parenting and hierarchical.
Oh.
I feel like there's this new type of mentoring, and we're going to create a new word. We haven't figured it out yet. But what is that kind of Kaizen Eastern approach to mentoring where it's more of a synergistic, collaborative relationship? Because the baby boomers and the Gen Xers are going to get a ton from that reverse mentoring. And the millennials already believe that to be, and there's going to be this synergistic relationship. So the next book I'm going to write, which is going to be the 3rd book in this series, but only the 2nd one to be published.
Is this like the Star Wars or something? Come on, man. We got to read them forwards, backwards, from middle out. What?
It is. And so in this one, it's going to be talking about those relationships and how you do it. And we haven't even gone into the last 4 hero habits yet, but that's going to really be a deep dive into how do you leverage the diversity of personalities to be able to get that holistic, integrated, most effective team. And a lot of times it's clunky, and leaders don't have tools to do that. So this next book will be, again, leveraging the 7 hero habits. How do we leverage those? And how do we have little exercises with each of those? So as you go through the book with your team, boom, 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 you can just...
Oh, you can actually apply.
Yeah.
Oh, that's phenomenal. So...
so now I'm scared.
Oh, wow. Yeah. If it's... I'm sure you subscribe to this thinking. If it's not scary, it's not worth it, right?
Exactly.
Right? So what were the 4 we talked about?
So we talked about designing a winnable game.
Got it.
And that means you got to align your passion and your why with the work that you're going to do, and leverage the resources that you have around you. Don't try to do it all yourself. Don't take on an immense amount of challenge when somebody else already has that skill set or support, where you can create a hero team to support you. You can assume positive intent. Get those mentor-mentee relationships. Get people around you who can give you that honest, candid feedback. They can allow you to be curious with them to figure out what their intention was when it feels like they may be jumping all over you.
Yeah, I got it.
It feels like a business deal went awry. And you're like, hey, what was your intention with that?
Right.
And the last one is to choose happiness, right? I mean, just, as husbands and fathers and stuff,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we can be thinking about 10 different things that we need to get done, and I just need to take this note, and I just need to send this email, and I just need to update this meeting. And we could miss that moment where, our kids are looking at us saying, Daddy, I just need you to hear me in this moment. And we have to choose happiness. We have to know that we're grateful that they have 10 fingers and 10 toes and they're there and they want our attention.
Yeah, right. They're not going to want it, right? Yeah. And it ultimately doesn't happen just at night. I noticed it happened this morning within an hour of waking up and getting the kids ready. So it's being a father like I know you are, it's a challenge, right? Especially with little ones.
It's a blessing and it's a challenge at the same time. So I guess in summary, I could say to business leaders out there, one, make sure that you have designed a winnable game and that you haven't drifted over the course of several years and you're accepting an unwinnable game. Don't try to do it all yourself because you got to spend money to make money.
Yep.
And you got to invest in people who are willing to invest in you and meet you more than halfway. And, people you can know, like, and trust.
Right.
I think about Bob Lambert, right? Know, like, and trust.
Oh, yeah. He's the man.
And so as a business leader, sometimes we put it all on our back and we got us to a certain point, but what got us here won't get us there. And that's,
right.
Marshall Goldsmith endorsed my book. He's the #1 thought leader across the globe, and I love his philosophy because we need to be able to say, okay, look, I need to take some old skills out of my tool belt. I need to put some new ones in. I need to get the old cordless power drill.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Using the ball peen hammer, and really just go after it. So, to everyone who's listening out there, I really think that whatever you're doing, you got to have a passion for it, because if you don't, it's not going to be sustainable. And most everybody listening to this is going to be passionate about it. But then when you get to the point where you're feeling burnt out and more stressed than stretched, the challenge is too much. Look at your skill set, look at your resources and support you have out there, and think about how can I take some of the challenge down by leveraging this hero team that I need to surround myself with.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing everything today and being on. It's an honor that you're on here with us, and we're going to share all of your contact information on the podcast, on the YouTube, and on the channel. But where's one place that or two places that people can go to find you, to find more information about you, the book, and all the work that you do?
Yeah, so my mission is to create a world of Thank God It's Monday. So I do that through speaking, coaching, and consulting. I want to create hero cultures, but you can see all my offerings at michaelhahnspeaker.com. michaelhahnspeaker.com. You can see my one-pagers out there. And if you know of somebody who's looking to motivate and inspire their people, or an individual, check me out. Shoot me an email. And I'm still one guy, man. I'd love to hear your feedback.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, Michael. Again, everybody, thanks for tuning in to the On Purpose Management Podcast. My name is Brian McDonald with my guest, Michael Hahn, and we appreciate you listening. Thank you.
Don't forget to be the hero.
Thanks for listening to the On Purpose Growth Podcast. Let us know what you thought in the comment section. For more from On Purpose Growth, go to onpurposegrowth.com. Subscribe here at BLTV for all of our content, including the daily Learn About Law podcast, Seize Your Business, Making Real Estate Fun, and Logical Logistics podcast, brought to you by O'Flaherty Law. Thanks for listening.